Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, November 24, 2023. The central bank is taking several steps to maintain tight Jamaican dollar liquidity conditions and support relative stability in the foreign exchange market. Earlier this week, the Bank of Jamaica's Monetary Policy Committee announced the decision to hold the policy interest rate at 7%. The bank also took the operational decision to increase the spread between the policy rate and the standing liquidity facility to 300 basis points, up from 200 basis points. This is intended to allow more flexibility in the bank's open market operations and give money market interest rates more latitude to move.
Earlier, on the 6th of November this year, the bank also removed the absolute limits on the foreign currency net open positions applicable to authorized dealers. This could help to promote relative stability in the exchange rate. Going forward, the bank will continue to review the effectiveness of these limits and their impact on market conditions on a quarterly basis.
BOJ's Governor Richard Biles made the announcements as he addressed the bank's quarterly media briefing on Wednesday. He also addressed the country's inflation levels, indicating that while the BOJ had been experiencing significant success in controlling inflation, that was threatened by the recent fare increase to PPV transport operators, a projected slowdown in global growth, and fuel prices remaining elevated over the next 3 quarters. Mr. Biles therefore welcomed the Finance Minister's announcement this week of a temporary 2-step reduction in JUTC bus fares effective January 1 and April 1, 2024.
Inflation is now projected to generally remain within the target range, except for December 2023 and a few months in 2024. The announced fiscal measure will have a material impact on tempering the potential inflationary pressures of the PPV fare increases.
Last week, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin reported that the country's annual headline inflation rate at October 2023 was 5.1%, while core inflation, which excludes food and fuel prices from the Consumer Price Index, was 5.7%. The overall economic outlook is positive, with the BOJ projecting that real GDP will grow by 1 to 3% for the 2023-2024 fiscal year and between 1 to 2% over the medium term. The government has secured financing to facilitate construction of the first of 6 science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM schools in the country. On Monday, the Finance Ministry and the World Bank signed a loan agreement worth $30 million for the Jamaica Education Project, JEP. It will allow for the first STEM secondary school to be built in St. Anne, accommodating 2,400 students.
We're very pleased to be commemorating this morning an arrangement with the World Bank whereby we will build our first science, technology, engineering, and mathematics dedicated high school in line with the Prime Minister's vision.
The project is also expected to reach 6,000 secondary school educators to improve their teaching skills and assist roughly 150,000 secondary students directly and indirectly. In addition, 100 secondary schools will use data gathered to tailor interventions on student retention, including keeping boys in school.
This ceremony is a public declaration of our commitment to transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. It is a moment for all Jamaicans to recognize that their government is firmly committed in its dedication to providing quality education for all.
Still on education, the ministry has now gazetted 142 schools across the country as part of measures to modernize the education sector. The Jamaica Gazette is the official state newspaper enshrined in law with responsibility to print and publish matters related to law, rules, regulations, orders, advertisements, and other information that is of national concern. During this week's post-cabinet press briefing, the Education Minister announced that most of the gazetted schools, 42, were in Region 4, while the next highest number, 36, was from Region 5. She said the gazetting supported efforts to develop the early childhood sector and guarantee that students have a smooth transition from infant to primary school.
These schools are transitioning from all-age or junior high or standalone primary schools to now be primary and infant schools. Of the 142 that were gazetted, 128 are now fully primary and infant schools.
Jamaica and the Republic of South Africa have signed a cooperation agreement to strengthen collaboration in several critical areas of sports. Minister of Sport Olivia Grange and South Africa's Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nakawe Nonsida Mafu, signed the agreement during a ceremony at the Rock Hotel on Tuesday.
The program of cooperation will provide opportunities for the development of frameworks to explore data collection and mapping.
The agreement will also facilitate collaboration in tertiary research, joint conferences, and the supervision of postgraduate students. There will be collaboration amongst the respective sports federations for the use of facilities in both countries. Among the disciplines that will be targeted under the cooperation framework are athletics, football, rugby, netball, rowing, and cricket.
This is one program of cooperation that we've been waiting for, because we know that with working together with the government of Jamaica, there's a lot that South Africa can learn, particularly around the issue of school sport and university sport and grassroots sport.
And finally, the Health Ministry is moving forward with plans to introduce a new medical equipment management policy in the next financial year to address equipment maintenance issues affecting health service delivery. Permanent Secretary Dunstan Bryan gave an update during a recent meeting with service providers and suppliers of electromechanical systems and medical equipment.
The reality is there's a lot going to happen in health next year, and we are primed to do it because all of our steps are now ready to move us into that direction.
Core aspects of the policy will include the training of technical in-house staff, mandatory user manuals, maintenance agreements, and replacement parts. A computerized maintenance management system is being procured for use by all regional health authorities, and going forward, contracts will possess a performance monitoring framework. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the consultations with stakeholders are seeking to provide understanding of the expectations under the proposed maintenance policy.
So some of the offerings around a supplier to the system may have to be tweaked somewhat to ensure that it doesn't appear as if you're kind of creating relationships that may be considered conflicts of interest. I go no further than that. And that can always be done within the context of a conversation. Because remember, a lot of these contracts initially ask for interest, expression of interest, then it ends up with a proposal, then it goes into negotiation. What we're outlining here are the top level requirements and expectations.
Armed with feedback from the service providers, the ministry will host another discussion forum to further explore the details of the maintenance policy and to align expectations on both sides. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.